Well, hello, my friends. We meet again. It has been a while. Where should we begin? 1986. Maybe in hindsight, maybe the most important year for heavy metal since the ancestors blessed our ear canals in 1970. 1986 is important for a lot of reasons, but today we're going to be looking at something else besides those monumental records, which were released in that year. Something very special.
Can be strong, we of fire and stone.
Today we are exploring Here in Aid, basically the metal version of Band Aid, a charity metal collaboration between 40 different prominent metal artists, rock artists, which basically were the who's who of metal and hard rock at the time.
It's just a straightforward heavy metal song, very melodic.
This is the brainchild of members of the band Dio, which included, of course, Vivian Campbell, the guitarist, Jimmy Bain, the bassist, and of course, Wendy and Ronnie James Dio. They would drop an original single entitled Stars, which was like the main draw of the album. In addition, the release would have a large 12-inch LP, which contained songs from metal and rock giants like Rush, Motorhead, the Scorpions, and even Jimi Hendrix, man. So this was like some serious shit. We will go through the song Stars mainly here, and we'll talk about all the crazy features in that song. But before we do that, just remember to support your boy. Hit that like button down below. You know, it really helps out the channel here, guys. And make sure to leave a comment telling me how ugly I am, and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. I also stream on Fridays here on YouTube, so come hang out. And if you become a member of the channel, you get free song requests during those streams. And actually, it was during one of these streams where I was introduced to this awesome project. Now, you guys know I'm a huge fan, Dio nerd. You know, go check out my deep dive on Holy Diver for more. So when my boy Julian sent this in, I was actually like completely shocked that I never heard of it. I failed you guys. I failed you. Now we'll get to the song stuff later, but first some backstory.
Actually sounds quite good. Are you comfortable with it?
Now, in the home video where Ronnie describes how Jimmy Bain and Vivian Campbell were the original sort of spearheaders of the project, right? They were inspired by a telethon held in LA, and while they were there participating, they noticed, you know, they looked around and like, where's all the rock and metal guys, I guess. You know, I tried to find this radiothon they were talking about, but there were either no recordings of it, or no even records exist of it here, or search engines are just completely fucking broken. So what can you do? Oh well, just another day in the Kali Yuga, I guess, here, guys. So then, inspired by the radiothon, as well as the recent success of other African charity events like Band Aid, USA for Africa, as well as the Live Aid concert, which actually would happen after they recorded the song, but before it was released. But I digress, right? They did their own to show the goodness of the heavy metal community and let that shine through. Thus was born Here in Aid. Let's be honest with ourselves, right? It's like a 4 to 10 name. I don't know what else I would have called it, but I don't know. You know, could have picked a better name, let's just say. Now, let us get serious for just a second here, guys. I'm not going to say that all African charities are scams. But the fact that there's like an entire subsection on Wikipedia dedicated to saying that, yes, this was run as a non-profit kind of speaks volumes about this whole thing. You know, even today, there are tons of people using the guise of charity in order to make lots of money, in order to grift. So, you know, I wonder just how much money from these events actually ended up going into the hands of people that need it and not just grifted off by middlemen and managers and NGOs or whatever. But maybe I'm just a cynic. But from what I've been able to gather, Hearing Aid was done very legitimately, legally, and without any scandal. So good on them. You know, I just gotta say, just be careful of who you send charitable money to. You know, do your own research, guys. It makes no sense to me to send money to nameless NGOs. You know, that just gives you like feel good boy points. You know what I mean? Probably donate to something in your local area that probably does a little bit more direct impact. But, you know, I'm just some asshole talking about metal in his basement. So do your own research.
Where people should become more aware. And if we can accomplish that here doing that this evening, I think we've set out and accomplished what we set out to do.
Okay. Anyways, Vivian and Jimmy told Dio about this, and he thought it was a great idea. And thus, the three of them wrote together the main event of the project, Stars. Now, Stars would be recorded over a few days at the same studio which We Are the World was recorded in, as if given to charity in 1985 wasn't trendy enough. You know, you have to do the same thing. While they're recording the songs, they filmed a home video, actually, a documentary kind of, which is just such a treasure trove of mid-80s rock and metal. Really, it's just like pure Kino. So kudos for them for filming this. This is all the footage you're seeing. This is what that's from. I recommend you go watch it. It's on YouTube. Somebody uploaded a whole thing of it. It's excellent. Now, I would go through all the people who are involved in this, but here's a Wikipedia page, and we'll go through the artists as we get to them in the song. And I mean, for 1985, right, this is a pretty intensely bass star-studded list. I mean, Don Dawkins and Geoff Tate on lead vocals. Gotta love that, although I wish they would have given Blackie Lawless a lead vocal spot. You know, I love his voice. Also, look at this pre-Twink Death Blackie Lawless here. God damn, does he look young. And actually, everybody here just looks so young and fresh-faced. It's actually crazy. All the members of Quiet Riot get a credit. Ted Nugent, of all people. Motley Crue guys here as well. This is just such a crazy-ass list, guys. Yngwie Malmsteen and Neil Schon of Journey, Brad Gillis of Night Ranger, Blue Oyster Cult, Dave and Adrian from Iron Maiden, and even the guys from Spinal Tap are here. I mean, like, this is just crazy. Holy shit, incredible. Jimmy Page was also going to contribute to this, but he was probably caught up doing some sort of weird freak shit in Aleister Crowley's house, so he couldn't make it, and he didn't end up on it. Although, notable here, no Ozzy Osbourne, no Tommy Iommi, which, you know, regarding the beef between Ozzy and Dio and all those bands, Black Sabbath, it's understandable. But yeah, basically, like, everybody you could want is here. Really a crazy, crazy star-studded lineup for 1985. But let's finally go through the song here, guys, now. Stars is such a typical Dio track. It sounds like it easily could have been off Holy Diver or like The Last in Line. I mean, like, you can just instantly tell Vivian Campbell's guitar playing and chord work, you know, right off the bat, it just bleeds Dio. Like, this is just a Dio song in my mind, right? And this is just a fantastic piece of music in terms of composition and is extremely, extremely catchy as well. You know, literally weeks after hearing the song for the first time on stream, I was humming it to myself, walking around at work. Which, yes, your boy here, still wage slaves, you know, have not escaped the matrix, become YouTube full-timer yet. But if you'd like and share the video, I will be one step closer to pumping out slightly above average metal video essays for you boys nonstop. So help me out, boys. So yeah, really this whole thing was basically the Dio band, you know, the original lineup with guest singers and guitarists. But yeah, that's enough padding. Let's get into the song here. I'll give you guys my thoughts on all the various features and performances, as well as any notable moments here as well. Also, huge shout out to this guy in the comments for timestamping every guest feature. You are the real MVP, sir. Shout out to you. Now, the song starts out with a nice clean guitar intro and some key swells. Dio sings out the first lines in his beautiful, majestic voice. Rest in peace, Dio. I don't know if I said that. Who cries for the children? I do. Before it all fades, we're here with that great sort of opening main riff here. But holy mother of drip check on RJD here. That purple suede shirt with the tight leather pants over the heeled boots. Bro, come on, bro. Come on, bro. So sick.
Come on, bro. Look at this mozzarella. Forget about it.
Now, the first feature is from Dave Meniketti from the band Y&T, which I'll be completely honest with you guys, I don't think I have ever heard a single one of their songs before. But honestly, Dave has a really great, deeper, masculine timbre to his voice, which I very much enjoy. It sounds great.
Sometime in the night when you're feeling the cold, take a look at the sky.
Although his fashion drip levels aren't even coming close to some of the others here. He still looks good. I'll give him like a 6 out of 10. Dio gives us another line. I have to say, having Dio next to all these other extremely high caliber singers sort of really just puts into perspective to me just how unique and powerful his voice was. Just really, really stands out. This is then followed by Rob Halford, which honestly, bro, looks like he just got out of a tryout for the WWF with that crazy low-cut leotard with studded leather bracelets, you know, and even the fingerless gloves, man. You know, bro is also at like a Norwood 4 here. Gotta respect Rob Halford's drip. He just lives it. Rob's voice is also extremely unique here as well. No one really sounds like him. He just has such a unique timbre to his voice. You know, you just instantly recognize Rob Halford's voice out of the crowd.
Those are faces in the light, the story we're told. They are calling you.
Dio gives us a few more lines after Rob's, which I mean, like, it is his song after all, before moving into the pre-chorus, which has this really cool kind of bouncy riff to it.
We are magic unite. We are shadow, we are light.
Ronnie again gives us the first line before we are joined by Kevin Dubrow from Quiet Riot. Rest in peace to him. Which, I mean, holy shit, this guy's voice is just so much gravel and texture in it. I love it. Excellent stuff. Also, holy drip check with that multicolored tracksuit and all the gold chains. Oh my god, man. The drip levels in this video are actually off the charts. It's crazy. Blow my mind. Dave Manichetti gives us the last line before the chorus here, and well... man, like, what a chorus, man. Huge, fantastic. It's just so simple, yet so powerful. We're stars. I just love the image they have here of all the guys on a choir riser singing the gang vocals. I count 29 people singing here in this frame, maybe more when they did it, but I mean, like, looking at this, you can almost smell the cigarettes, cologne, and hairspray through your screen. It just reminds me of that one Simpsons episode where they all sing about the Bart when he fell down the well.
And we're sending our love down the well. All the way down.
Everyone here just looks like they all ripped off a few Sambuca shots before and is having a great time. Just looks like a nice party. I bet this was so much fun to do. After the first chorus, which supposedly is Rob Halford singing the lead vocals, but I can't really hear it, we move on into the second verse, which features some more great singers.
We can be strong. We are fire and stone.
First, we have Eric Bloom from Blue Oyster Cult, who looks like he just stepped out of a time machine from 1976. He has a nice voice. You know, not my favorite singer here, although it does compare nicely to the next guy, who is Paul Shortino from the band Rough Cut.
And we all wanna touch a rainbow. But singers and
Another band which I had never really heard of before this, although it seems that Rough Cut was like a farm team for many other bigger bands going forward. Paul here is a really sort of typical glam metal timbre, which when juxtaposed with the more machismo-esque-ness of Eric Bloom, it works really well together. Although the white cowboy hat with the white outfit does go pretty hard. Gotta give bro like a 9 out of 10 on the drip scale here. Although he looks like he's choking himself while he's singing. It's so weird. Geoff Tate, and yes, I know it's Jeff, not Geoff. I'm just playing with you guys here. Geoff has a great and powerful voice, and you can really see when this guy sings, he puts everything he has into the singing itself. I mean, just look how wide he's opening his mouth here. Crazy, man.
but singers and songs will never change it alone. We're calling you, calling.
And the way his body is tensing and releasing, crazy. Also, this guy's drip is impeccable as well. It looks like he just stepped out of like a sparkling white Testarossa. Crazy. Don Dawkins is the next one up, and in comparison to how intense Jeff was, Don just looks so nonchalant and effortless in comparison.
We're the beat of a heart. The beginning.
You know, I really love Don's voice, but I'm a big Dawkins fan, so I'm a little bit biased here. I'll leave the drip check for Don up to Dio here.
Okay, I'll try it again.
GQ called back.
Then we move back into the second chorus. This time you can definitely hear some lead vocal lines. I can really hear what sounds like Geoff Tate sort of belting out these high falsetto notes over top of everything. Also, I forgot to mention that there are some subtle guitar melodies sort of buried underneath the chorus of voices, and those would actually be played by the Iron Maiden boys, Dave Murray and Adrian Smith. Nice little touch there, I like it, works. We then move on into the solo section, which lasts for nearly like 3 minutes long. It's a little bit too long, honestly, with each guy getting a few measures to shred on at a time. Also, why the fuck does the Spinal Tap guy look so much like me? Or I guess maybe I look like him. Anyways, I think I'm better looking than him, so I guess I can't be too mad. Starting up the solos, we have Craig Goldie of Guifrina and Eddie Opella of Twisted Sister. Never heard of Guifria either, but gotta respect the man for pulling up to the function with a BC Rich Warlock. Love it, very based. Both Craig and Eddie do a great job, and I have to respect them for easing into the solo rather than just blowing their wad, you know, right away, right off the bat. Nice touch there, very tasteful. Following them, we get Vivian Campbell and Brad Gillis from Night Ranger. Night Ranger.
Wait a minute. Who is this?
Night Ranger, man. Night Ranger.
This is a great little solo section. I really like this like tremolo flutter tapping thing that Brad does here. Really, really cool and unique. Following them, we have George Lynch of Dawkins at the time and Neil Schon from Journey, both of whom also just kill it here. Although it is funny, you can like instantly tell the switch from Neil into George's solo. George Lynch really just seems to have this very, very, very distinct right sound to his notes. Also, shout out to George Lynch for repping the Bon Jovi 2005 haircut all the way back in the mid 80s. I will say though, you know, I don't really think of Journey when it comes to shredding, but man, Neil really, really impressed me here. Crazy stuff. I also think he may have the shortest hair out of anyone here in the video, you know, maybe tied with Rob Halford, but he's going bald, so, you know, I don't know. Anyways, we then move to that famous yellow Strat and that ever so recognizable Yngwie sound. He gives us some very cool neoclassical flair, which is a nice change from a lot of the more bluesy influenced stuff earlier on, which goes on for like most of the solo section. Man, young Yngwie was just so like effortlessly cool. He shares this section with Vivian Campbell again, who easily puts up a solo equal to Yngwie's, matches him really well. Kind of seems like Yngwie phoned his in, I'll be honest with you guys though, but what can you do? Which after that, we now move on to the 5th solo section and we get George Lynch again and Craig Goldie. You know, no hate to Craig or shade, but man, I think George Lynch takes the cake for my favorite lick out of this whole solo section. I mean, just listen to this phrase, bro. Listen to this shit. What is he playing? It's so sick. In the 6th and final section, we get Craig Goldie and Brad Gillis once again with Donald Rosner from Blue Oyster Cult finishing off in great fashion. Overall, you know, a very enjoyable 3 minutes of soloing, but I am glad there is a shorter, truncated version of it. You know, as I wouldn't really want to listen to 3 minutes of soloing every single time I listen to the song. You're kind of here for the chorus and singing. And I actually wonder how they planned all this out. Did everyone just go crazy in the studio and then they sort of like stitched it all together in a cool way? Or was all these different parts and stuff planned out beforehand? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. It just seems like interesting the way they did that. And I can't even imagine the amount of work and tape editing they had to do with all these soloists and vocalists having their own takes and then being spliced together and choosing which takes. You know, just extremely, extremely impressive work by the sound engineer here and Dio. And the sound engineer is Angelo Curry, so put some respect on this man's work with a razor blade. He did a great job. And finishing up the song here, they take us back to the pre-chorus, which sees Kevin Dubrow, Rob Halford, and Geoff Tate. And man, goddamn, just look at this man's technique. Flawless in his ability to create a resonance chamber in his mouth. Anyways, we then get a little mini drum solo thing, which I assume is where the Quiet Riot drummer comes in, but kind of a lackluster drum solo, to be honest with you guys. Again, I'm sort of just confused on the drumming situation here, but you know, they sing the chorus again with some more vocal lines, and then Neil Schon gives us a very, very Journey-esque solo to end it off as it fades out. All in all, boys, a thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyable nostalgia trip of a song, and really just sounds like a Dio song with guest features, especially in the lyrical department. You know, it features Dio's really interesting use of metaphors, like shadows in the night, which is just like so typical of a Dio line. I love it. Great song. I give it a 10 out of 10 on the stream. And honestly, a month or two later, it still bangs. I still enjoy it. 10 out of 10. Yeah, go watch this shit, guys. Go watch this. And if you have any other cool or noteworthy songs or albums, please leave them down below in the comments. And while you were there, tell me what you thought of Here in Aid. And for any of you old guys, do you actually remember when this came out? You know, do you have any thoughts on that? Was there a big buzz around it? Yeah, let me know down below, guys. I'm curious. I was born in 94, so like 9 years before this came out. Yeah, I'm just curious. I have been Varvis. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.